Hello and welcome back to Tivating Patiently, the appreciation podcast that highlights, dives deeper, and celebrates the work and accomplishments of our Tony-winning national treasure, Aaron Tveit. I'm your host Elizabeth, and today's episode we will be revisiting and honoring the iconic Grease Live. 7 years ago, Grease Live aired on Fox and changed the face of live musicals. The stellar casting of Aaron as Danny Zuko, Julianne Hough as Sandy, Vanessa Hudgens as Rizzo, Carlos Penavega as Kaniki, Keke Palmer as Marty, Jordan Fisher as Duty, Carly Rae Jepsen as Frenchie, Andrew Call as Sonny, and David Del Real as Putsy. All of them created magic together to put their own spin on the OG classic Grease and give the next generation another Danny and Sandy to adore. In so many of his concerts since Grease Live, Aaron has honored his time as Danny Zuko by singing Sandy. Yet he's put his own spin on it. His genius music director Brian suggested mashing up Sandy with Heart and Soul, and it's always a success.
Heart and soul, I felt love in you. Heart and soul, love will fool you madly, because you held me tight, and stole the kiss in the night. Heart and soul, I long to be adored, lost control, and tumbled overboard that magic night we kissed there in the moment. Oh, but your lips were thrilling, much too thrilling. Never before were mine so strangely willing. Now I see what one embrace can do. Just look at me, it's got me loving you madly. That magic night you stole, held on my heart and soul. Sandy, my darling, you hurt me real bad. You know it's true. But baby, you gotta believe me when I say I'm helpless to that. Heart and soul, I felt love with you. Heart and soul, love will fool you madly, because you held me tight, and stole the kiss in the night. Now I see what one embrace can do. Just look at me, it's got me loving you madly. That little kiss you stole, held on my heart and soul.
When it comes to Grease Live, I always think back to an interview that Aaron did with Billboard's on Broadway podcast, and he shared that he was initially hesitant to audition for the role of Danny because of the way that the live musicals had been done in the past. He was worried about singing on live TV, and he thought his Les Mis experience was a lightning in a bottle, and he wasn't sure he was going to be able to recreate that same success. And we owe all of our gratitude to his managers for talking Aaron into auditioning, because what he was able to bring to the role of Danny Zuko is the kind of genius that only unicorn Aaron Tveit can bring to a role. The role of Danny Zuko and the live musical aspect of Grease Live provided Aaron with the opportunity to allow all of his skills to shine. His familiarity with performing on stage with a live audience from Broadway and his TV and film experiences from Graceland and Les Mis gave him that edge to also know where the camera angles were and how filming was going to work. Grease Live was basically when Aaron put out into the world that he can literally do all the things. Now, have you had a chance to go down the rabbit hole that is Grease Live rehearsal footage? Oh my gosh, the cast, they look like they were having the best time together. All of their dancing, games, playing tricks on each other. They really seemed like such a close-knit group, and Aaron has shared that the experience of being back in that high school gym on set really made them all feel like they were back in high school again. And speaking of pranks, there was one scene in the diner where Danny and Sandy, they're not really on speaking terms, and apparently the T-Bird guys, they had told Julianne to change her line when speaking to Aaron. Her line was supposed to be about her football player date Tom, and she was supposed to say, "Tom is a great athlete, what have you ever done?" But instead, this unfolded.
There's a line where I go, "Tom is a great athlete, what have you ever done?" And the guys were like, go up to him and be like, "Tom's a great actor, what have you ever done?" So I was like, "Tom's a great actor, what have you ever done?" And I couldn't get it out, I just started laughing.
But the guys ruined it though, because there's a moment where I walk over to Sandy at the jukebox and I literally look over at all the guys that are sitting at the table and they're all literally like this. Like looking at us, I was like, what the hell are they doing? And then she starts laughing. And I was like, yeah, good job, guys. Plus, that statement is just so crazy that whatever.
Oh my God, I forgot about Tom, the guy who's trying to get your
poor Tom.
running on the track.
Tom takes a beating in our show.
Clearly, subtlety was not their strong suit in that moment. In an AOL cast panel, Aaron and Carlos Penavega leaned into the point that for new generations, what they were creating for Grease Live would be the new generation's version of Grease. The characters they would be putting on screen would be their connection to Danny Zuko, Sandy, Rizzo, all of them. Grease is one of those movies that you remember your first time watching it, and the cast felt the honor and weight of that knowledge for those who have not had that connection to Grease yet. For me, I remember watching Grease for the first time with my dad, and I was in love with Sandy's hair and her heels for her leather outfit at the end of the movie. They recreated both of those aspects for Julianne perfectly, I think. In so many Grease Live interviews, Aaron shares that the song he was most excited for in the show was Summer Nights. And in one interview, Julianne speaks to how relevant that song still is today, with a guy's perspective of what happened on a date versus the girl's perspective. And when I heard her say that, I thought about the Friends TV show episode when Ross and Rachel first kiss, and all the girls, they run and get the wine and sit together, and Rachel, she's so descriptive of every aspect of the kiss and what happened beforehand and what happened after. And then it flashes over to the guys in Joey and Chandler's apartment, and Ross just says over pizza, "And then we kissed." And Joey asks, "With tongue?" And Ross says yes, and Joey says, "Cool." And that was the end of it. I'm sure we can all relate to Summer Nights in one way or another. Grease Live was, in fact, a live production, but done so well that there were people who doubted that it was actually filmed live because of how well executed it was. The golf cart tipping over, or almost tipping over, at the end of the show while heading to the carnival was actually kind of a blessing in disguise because it was proof that, in fact, this was live and happening in real time. And Aaron, he had such a great attitude about the production being live and the very real possibility that things could and would go wrong. And here's what he had to say about that.
I don't know, I think the most interesting thing about something being live is that inadvertently something's going to go wrong, something's going to be different than we planned. There's going to be stuff that we haven't planned for, like when we make Carlos laugh the whole show. But those are the moments I think that are really exciting, and the things when, you know, the way that we react and the way that we deal with it on the night, it's going to create a moment and that's unexpected, and that's when like some sparks will fly. So I am really excited about that. So, you know stuff's going to go wrong, so just deal with it. Don't worry about it.
Personally, I'm such a bundle of nerves just about regular, everyday things. I know I'd be an absolute wreck having to be a part of a live production like Grease Live. Lucky for the world, I'll never have to be in a position to do something like that. But I'll continue to watch Grease Live for years to come, and Aaron's Danny Zuko will be the Danny that my kids will grow up with. And I can't wait to introduce them to the show when they're older. Happy 7th anniversary, Grease Live. You're the one that we want, the one we need. Oh yes, indeed. Thank you so much for listening today and for continuing to support this podcast. If you haven't done so already, please follow or subscribe so you can get updates on new episodes. You can also follow me on Instagram at tivating_patiently and on TikTok at tivatingpatiently. Now, go and watch Grease Live in celebration of the anniversary, and hope to have you back here for episode 33.